Cool. We'll just give it a few minutes for people to join, and then we can kick off.
What's the blood bowl in the background, James?
It's just it's a Easter egg. Hello, we've got a few people joining us now. Thanks for joining us on the round one reveal and matchup show for the end of the Everwinter event, which is on this weekend down at Jolt. With me today, I've got Chris Welfare. Welcome.
Hey.
And we have the man of the hour, the man who had the balls and the guts to just chuck an event out there and just say Hail Mary, throw some dice and hope for the best. And it's all paid off. And his name is Michael Thompson.
Hey, guys. How we going?
Cool. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're just going to wait for a few more minutes to see if any more people come online. Then we'll start talking about the event and the round one matchups. Chris, how you been, man?
Not too bad. Building handgunners for my Cities of Sigmar upcoming project. I have lots of models, but
is that the one you're running in the TTS tournament?
Similar, different list, but yeah, it's for a bunch of lists. So I'm getting a stupid number of handgunners done and some crossbows. So yeah, I'm having them commissioned. So I just need to build them all up, and then they'll be getting commissioned early next year. So yeah, it's been good to be able to test an army without having to invest in the models. And then I've gone, yeah, okay, this works, and there's lots of different lists and stuff I can do from this. So pulling the trigger on it, so to say.
Yeah.
No, lots of puns intended. Pulling the trigger on handguns. How about you? You all just prep for this weekend, or you've been hobbying much for yourself?
No, I haven't. I've started a new job, so been busy but yeah, the weekend's ready to go. Jolt have been amazing with their COVID plans to meet with government requirements so we can have the event. So yeah, it's been awesome. The fact that the Victorians can get through their border and come up now makes things even better.
Yeah, that's like that squeezed in like a bee's dick. What was it? Just like yesterday, day before.
Yeah.
Restrictions were lifted, so yeah.
We've known for a couple of weeks they were opening yesterday, but
yeah, but things can happen at any moment.
Yeah, that's right.
There could just be a surge somewhere, and yeah, like what we saw in South Australia and all that.
Yeah, recently. That's probably something I've written into the pack, and why I've written the pack as it is. As Chris knows, he runs events. Getting money together and have people be happy coming to events, forking out money and getting value for money. I've written into the event is like you pay minimal money so that if stuff like that does happen now, you can give them a refund and it hasn't cost me or a TO as much, so that they're not out of faith, out of pocket and upset, and neither are you. So people just need to realize the event that we're running, there isn't a lot of prizes, there isn't a lot of stuff to give away, simply for the fact that the world as it is, we can't do these things anymore. And I hope other TOs sort of follow. I don't want to have to cop up $50-$60 and then not be able to go due to government lockdowns and whatnot and be out of pocket. So I'd rather be able to go and not get anything and just be able to roll dice.
Yeah, just like stripping it back to the essentials, pretty much. It's just which is all you really need at the end of the day. All the rest is just is fluff. It's all great to have, but at the end of the day, we're all here to get together, hang out, play some games, and just compete for that. Compete for the top prize, and I like how you've done like it's just coolest army award, just a single off the bat. Vote on the coolest army for the hobby. So you got all the elements in there. Everyone's covered.
Yeah, you got to have the competitive and the people who just want to roll dice sort of covered. Try and keep everybody happy. And I know you can't keep everyone happy, but you certainly can give it a crack. So
give it a go, you know.
yeah,
But you know, it's the same across the board, really. Like, you know, weddings and gatherings and stuff like that. Everything's just stripped back to the essentials, and
Yeah.
here we are. So well, we're in at the moment, but things will look better next year. I reckon. I've got a good feeling. But I've got just in the chat here, we've got a bunch of people here. We've got Joel McGrath. Welcome, mate. Looking forward to catching up on the weekend. We've got Proben92. Not sure who that is, but welcome, mate.
Tyson.
Is that Tyson?
Yeah.
Welcome, Tyson. We've got Ashley McEwen, the man himself. We've got MB. And we have the mayor has joined us. We've got.
I think MB is Martin Brooks. I think it's Pask.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome. And we've got the failed charges online. Not sure which one it is, but they're telling you.
He was chatting to me earlier.
Yeah, it'd be Mick.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's telling you to smile.
Emma's changing the kitchen, isn't she?
He's telling you to smile, Rocky. Smile more.
No.
You're not going to. Zenith Mill Shorter, welcome, mate. Jake Gunning and Matt Kent. All right, Matt Kent says, "Let's go." So
Yeah,
I think that's a good moment to cut in. So, all right, I'll bring up the pack, the matchup. So here we go.
Exciting! I get to play some Warhammer.
How do you get it to work first time, James, and not now? There we go.
There we go.
Nah, you've done it again.
Yeah. Wait.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. This is my first day. All right, cool. Here we are. Round 1 pairings. Let's have a look at the first one. Hugh Crale and Tyson Gleason. So we got Beasts of Chaos, Great Frey, Gravespawn versus Fire Slaters from the realm of Shamon. So Hugh hasn't got a realm on there, but what do we got?
You've got your something similar to what Joel normally runs, except that it's in I believe it's the Slanesh battalion. The Wildfire Taurus is brilliant because it makes your stuff like last. The fact that these guys can come on from a board edge where you've got, because we're playing Total Conquest first, you've got a chance of taking, not that he's got big units, but you can sort of try and get 30 on an objective over 20. I just don't know how he's going to remove those Fire Slayers, to be fair.
Yeah. I mean, the Bulgars are his best chance, but even then, they're going to do about 8 damage or something into some Fire Slayers. So, yeah, I don't think Beastmen have any chance in the upfront stand and punch game. They'll be just trying to use the fact that they've got lots of small units to outmaneuver, I guess, the Fire Slayers, and whether they can bog them down or just not engage in combat and just try and have more bodies than the Fire Slayers have got. Is interesting that he's not Hermdar, so he doesn't have the ability to override the Wildfire Taurus going last to fight first. But yeah, like if there was a block of 30 Bestigor or something in there for a combat punch, they can actually hit pretty hard. So I would have thought maybe he'd been able to have a chance with the Taurus if he got, say, the Bulgars and some Bestigor in. But I'm just not sure the 10s will do enough. But maybe if he can get them all in.
He's just missing the spawn to give him those extra attacks in that Great Fray. Like, he needs to lose a hero, I think.
Summon him in. No, he's got one. He has got one Chaos Spawn.
Sorry. Oh, he does. My bad. So I'll sit back in the corner and be quiet.
That's James's job.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm managing chat over here.
Yeah. Shamon's the one that has neg 2 to run and charge from terrain as well. So that could hurt. I think that's a big advantage for the Fire Slayers because they're not really wanting to. They just want to stick around on the objectives and not move. So
I think the main issue is going to be, obviously there's 4 objectives and you get an extra point for taking it off your opponent and an extra point for having a leader. And the Fire Slayers have literally got 3 units, so they can't They
get the
can't
force
really
objective.
contest 4.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if the beastmen can hold stuff back around the edges and just try and be annoying and ambush in all 4 places, they should always be able to kind of keep an objective.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. Someone's getting a phone call.
Yeah, it's me.
But yeah, I think if I had to pick the winner of this, I think it's too hard like to just overlook Fire Slayers being the powerhouse that they are. And also men aren't exactly known for being top tier. So I think my money would be on Tyson for this first matchup.
I agree.
What about the chat? What does the chat think, James?
Chat says, hard. I've got MB says hard matchup for Hugh. They really hope he gets that 1 in a million chance to get the Fire Slayers knocked.
I think it's definitely a good win.
Joel said Bestigors can absolutely murder KO. Don't underestimate them. So there you go. There's a for and against there. So yeah, Hugh is one of the local Canberra guys as well. One of the beasts of Belconnen. So be good to catch up with you, Hugh. And Tyson, look forward to meeting you, mate. Okay, cool. Move on to the next one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we shall. All right, we got Robert Kern with Skaven Tide and David Fazell with the Ossiarch Bone Reapers. So Petrifex Elite versus the Skaven Tide. We've got Robert's chosen the Giran for his Mortal Realm and Mortal Realm Shaman for David. So here we go. What do we got? Whole lot of clan rats. Tons of clan rats. Heroes.
Yeah, Robert's a
Lots of
Sydney boy.
buddies.
I know he plays Skaven most of the time. I think he has got Deepkin. I think he's known for running 4 turtles a while ago for Deepkin. So, but he's got a little bit of shooting in that one unit of acolytes. But coming up, the army that really broke Skaven was Ossiarch Bone Reapers, and he's got them with dual catapult in the first round. So I think this is going to be an uphill struggle for Skaven the whole time. Those crawlers just decimate Skaven, and the fact that he's also got 2 harvesters to block back up those 2 blocks of 20 more tech, like he's not gonna. Clan rats aren't going to get through that, and he just doesn't have the long range shooting to kind of isolate stuff. So my money is very heavily on the Bone Reapers for this matchup, unfortunately, for Robert.
Cool.
The fact that he's taken Shaman with Petrifex Elite gets him that +1 to their save again with the spell, but he just hasn't taken a Archon or a Supercaster as such to really get it. The idea is there, but personally, if I come up against this, I'd be taking the realm that I want so that he can't get that +1 save on the Petrifex Elite. But if you can protect those acolytes, they could get through those guard, I think. But the matchup and the battle round, that being Total Conquest again, might not go his way.
Yeah, I think the issue is he's got no tunneling or anything like that, and they're only a 20-inch max threat on those acolytes. So
yeah,
it's too easy to just sit 2 inches back for the OBR turn 1, making sure that they're not in range, and those catapults are always going to outrange them. So
yeah.
But yeah, my money is on the OBR for that one.
Yeah. Chat is saying go Skaven, and MB says hopefully David knows about the nerf. So what's this nerf?
No,
they used to have the +1 save in
Petrifex.
Now it's back to reroll ones. Yeah,
and only in combat, which is lame. But
yeah, Odin says David knows the nerf. So yeah, it's all part of the plan. And Ashley says Petrifex, what year is this? Anyway. And also, correction from earlier, it's not Vestigors can carve into KO as Slayers, rather. Anyway, moving on. So moving on to the next one, we've got Cody Howden with the Gloomspite Gits from Gur, and Peter Atkinson with Ogre Tribes from Shaiish. So, yeah, here we go. We've got Destruction off round 1.
If anyone
I'm loving the
Okay.
kits. I've started painting a loom boss on giant cave squig for the Heralds of War charity raffle that's coming up next year, and I have to tell you, this could be a turning point for me for
You
army
getting that Christmas
collections.
box? Are you getting that
Hey?
Christmas box, James? The Squigs and Trolls box?
No, I'm getting a bunch of other Warhammer for a different army for Christmas. So, but I'm starting to think maybe I should have put some different models in my gift list for this year. So, but no, there's always the year after.
But yeah,
But
so
anyway,
he has gone for a squiggle launch, so it's all the squigs. So he's got 2 big units of Boingrots, which should be really pretty good on the charge in terms of doing mortal wounds. If they both get in, he should be doing 15 more wounds just off the charge. And then they're damage 2 with rend and stuff, right? He's got a couple of manglers, which if they hit, then they can do good work. But just he's got 4 Stonehorns to deal with, and I just I think unfortunately for this one, the squigs are going to get splatted underneath some Stonehorn.
I think what Cody needs to know is that Pete is Captain Destruction, so he knows what the Gloomspite gets do. The fact that the leaders are worth 10 models on this battle plan probably really helps Pete. The thing is, if those Boingrots make a first turn charge with their pre-move and charge and re-roll random move as well on top of that, the fact that Pete could probably spend his terrain piece, the Morpot, and heal everything back up with is it the Black Cattlehorn or the Metal Cruncher that heals stuff as well?
Could be no, the Huskard. Oh no, he's not got Huskard on. If the Huskard has the prayers, he can heal, but I think it's just the Thunder Tusks. The Huskard on Thunder Tusk is a priest, so it's the Morpot, I think, that heals.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, if they heal back up and the Boingrots sort of run, then it doesn't leave him much behind to stop what's coming his way. I think those Boingrots need to do a fair bit of heavy lifting.
Yeah, any protracted fight and the OBR, not the OBR, the ogres are going to win that. The Git's just too fragile, I think.
Yeah.
Is Cody's allegiance? Is he using the White Dwarf?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be cool to see that have a run out then, because that is supposed to be pretty good in terms of the re-rolling, the movement,
the random move,
the extra damage on the charge. So it could be pretty good.
It's on the bites, I think.
Yeah. Interesting match. I think my money's on Pete though for this one.
I've got a funny comment from Pat saying, "I'm tipping Pete to win, but only because I know he will hate defeating a squig army." Quality. Yep. All right, cool. Move on to the next. All right, we've got Ian Pierce with KO from Barak Urbaz from Shaish versus Odin Asagrim KO from Haish. So what do we got here? We've got Grunstock, Escort Win, Iron Sky Attack Squadron, Iron Sky Command. So yeah, it's an outmaneuver fest.
We've got all 3 KO battalions between the 2 armies.
Yeah.
So there's a fair amount of ships. We've got an ironclad, a frigate, and 2 gun haulers in Ian's list, and then we've got an ironclad and 2 frigates in Odin's list. Similar heroes, but I think that's pretty standard across most KO lists. You've got, although Ian's not got the balloon suit Endrin Master, he's got the Endrin Master on foot, which is a bit of a different pick these days. I wonder if he's done that to try and get a 4th leader in for the leader missions for the pack. But yeah, he's got Warp Lightning Vortex, so he's obviously got Spell in a Bottle. And then Odin's got the Realm Scourge Rupture with Spell in a Bottle, so that's interesting. You don't see that one as much. It's normally the Vortex.
I think that is the Realm Scourge Rupture the one where it depends how many wizards you got.
No, that's the Dark Demon Rift. That's the other one.
Sorry. Yeah,
that's the other one you'd normally see. The Rupture it only moves in one direction once it's set up.
right.
And I think it halves movement from memory. I'm just checking. It only moves in that direction. Anything that it passes across or within one takes D3 mortal wounds. And until the end of the battle round, you half the move characteristic of anything that was across it or within one.
Yeah, cool.
So actually, yeah, that's not bad. You fire it out and then half everyone. You like slow everyone down getting to you.
And then you shoot them.
Yeah. The interesting thing is, though, because neither list is Zilfin, neither of them has got the auto hero phase redeploy set up to drop the spell out of the bottle. Ian has gone for the Cunning Fleetmaster trait on the Admiral, which I think that lets you reposition a ship, but I believe it's after deployment and before the first battle round. So you don't, if you don't know you can take choice of first turn or not, then it's potentially risky, and Odin with the double battalion is going to outdrop him. So I'm just double checking that is what Cunning Fleetmaster does. But I'm pretty sure that's the redeploy. So that will be interesting as to whether he wants to do it or not. Yeah. So Cunning Fleetmaster will let him redeploy with one of his ships. It can fly high unless it's an ironclad. So he'd be able to redeploy that frigate before the start of the first battle round. But again, Odin's going to win the drop. So is he going to want to do that to get his vortex off, and then Odin potentially can take first turn and shoot the ship? So that's going to be quite interesting, I think, between these two. I'm not sure which one I picked.
From my times playing against Duncan, he plays KO as well. Just with the movement, with these two armies facing off each other, it's going to be a real interesting one to watch, just to see how they sort of face down each other with all their movement shenanigans. Because someone's going to have to come down and claim objectives, and someone's going to have to go in and do something. So, just looking at the bodies in Odin's list might have a bit more of a advantage.
I think it's going to be one of those ones where who gets turn two. Like, I think first turn is claim objectives to get points. And then if you happen to get double turned, you're already losing your shooting, which is a strong point for KO. So if someone gets a double turn, shoots the threats off from the other person, then you sort of won half the battle.
Yeah, cool. Okay, move on to the next one. So we have Corey Balhaus with Zinch, with his Eternal Conflagration from Akshi, and Duncan Cross, who I just mentioned, with his KO. So here we go. I've played Corey before, actually. We played at Border Wars last year. It was last year, wasn't it? Yeah, last year. And yeah, he was fun to play with. He had a bucket of blue horrors next to his table, if I recall correctly. So I wonder if that's going to happen again. He's got two units. He's got 2 units of pinks. Yeah. Things have changed a little bit there.
I think that's a pretty standard, like, top list change host in Eternal Conflag, with 2 6s of flamers and an exalted and a couple of units of pinks, and he's got 2 units of brims as well for screens. It's a good list. It's interesting though, because KO should be one of the things that can kind of counter each, especially the flamers, because the ships are pretty resilient against shooting with low rend. Obviously the flamers will get rend 1 in the Eternal Conflag, and that exalted's going to have rend 2, but they're just very fragile. Obviously that's where the pinks are going to show their worth, I think, but if he's going to have to deal with them, and they'll just split and split and split. But KO is an army that should be good against Zinch.
Should be able to shoot him off. Yeah.
So Yeah, this will be an interesting matchup, I think.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Michael?
I think Corey will have the bodies, unless he loses his casters real early. Then they should be casting enough spells to bring other bodies back. The flamers just need to stay alive for a turn or 2 turns to get their value. Otherwise, if they disappear and if he gets doubled, sort of thing, he's probably fighting an uphill battle, to be fair.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Is Duncan a particularly competitive player, James? Or is he more on the narrative side of things?
He's definitely on the narrative side of things with a competitive streak, I think. But we've played a lot of games over the last year doing the Stormvault campaign. We've done a couple of bat reps for the channel, but yeah, Duncan's army is I've played it many times. It's real fun to play against. It's not as he still definitely has the firepower, but it makes for a great game. And Duncan's a fantastic bloke to be at a game with as well. Like, he's just really fun, animated, lots of funny calls and stuff like that. So I think Corey's in for a bit of fun, just a good fun game. But yeah, he likes to think outside the box in terms of the KO dogma, I guess, the current typical picks. He likes to go his own way and choose his own things. I can't remember off the top of my head what all these articles and amendments and footnotes do, but his Zendra Master is always been the general. He's got all his characters are named. I know them all pretty well.
He's got good picks. Like the Rune of Mark is really good on the Admiral. If he kills stuff, he'll get extra Aether Gold shares. The Voidstone Orb's going to be good against Siege because it's an auto unbind. Settle the Grudges is good. He's going to get rerolls against a unit or D3 units. Off the top of my head, I'm not entirely sure. And then always take what you're owed. And there's no trading with some people. I'm pretty sure gives extra Aether Gold shares, like D3 extra Aether Gold.
Yes,
that's right. I think the other one lets him once per game retreat, run, shoot with a unit and charge. He can do you can retreat, run, shoot, charge, do everything you want 1 turn with 1 unit, I think. So there's some shenanigans there for sure.
Yeah, it's a KO list that's built for a more fun game. I know KO are a bit on the nose at the moment, but not with Duncan. I can guarantee you that it'll be a fun game.
He's got the movement as well with those 4 units,
and it'll be a close game as well. Like I was playing with my Legion of Grief armies and stuff like that, and we were always having close games, so it was always fun. He didn't always beat me. I got up on him a couple of times, but yeah, he definitely dominated because of that. Yeah, just the KO movement shenanigans and stuff like that. So yeah. But
what does the chat think?
The chat says. Maybe saying, honestly, was surprised to see no Zilfin out of the KO lists. Corey outdrops Duncan, so should get value out of giving first turn away. That's from Ashley, especially in this scenario. And that's about it, really. Joel says, KO isn't Flamer hosts Achilles' heel, unfortunately. Going to be a close game, though. Corey's getting pretty good with the army, too. So there you go.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking Corey is probably going to take the win. But I do think that KO list is capable of winning that game. So that will be a really interesting one.
Yeah. Fold reality will be a big difference too. Like if you don't kill all the pinks or the whole unit that they summon back, the fact that you can bring pinks back with fold reality could be a something that sways it in his favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that he's only got it on the change caster though.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a squishy little hero to have that as your only caster that can do it.
Sweet. Okay, moving on. We've got Jason Brown. with Flesh-Eater Courts from the Court of Delusion is the Feast Day from Gur. We've got Jono Inga with KO again from Shimon. And here we go. So Feck, lay it on me, fellas. We've got...
It looks like a Chris list, to be fair.
Too many goals for me. And too many Terrorgeists. No zombie dragon. I disapprove. No, feast days, I still think the best all comers that you can do. The 40 ghouls with a chalice is good. You can't look past that. If someone doesn't get rid of that chalice, then those ghouls will just come back, and it's very hard to get through 40 ghouls. And 2 Terrorgeists that compile in once per turn for free is still terrifying. The choice of Gur is obviously for the realm command, so he can spend a command point and get to fight as if he's unwounded as well, which is really good.
That's the Feral Roar command trait, command ability. Yep.
The Archregent, he's doubling down on making sure he can cast Chalice and the D3 extra attack spell or Spectral Host when he needs it by taking Dark Wizardry and the Dermal Robe. So he's a 2 caster with +2 to cast Dispel and Unbind, which is really, really solid for the Archregent. And then he's got bodies in those ghouls, and the 2 dragons are good. And then the extra unit of horrors just to fill out the King's ghouls. It's a good list. It is a good list.
I like it. I've got a local guy in my scene here in Goulburn, guy named Kurt. If you're listening, Kurt, shout out. He runs Feck and a list kind of similar to this, but he does it in Gristlegore. But yeah, anyway, it's fun, and definitely that chalice is a pain in the ass. So it's good. You can't
forget that he's also got another 3 units essentially to bring on, because the Archregent and the 2 Ghoul Kings on Terrorgheist are going to bring on extra things. So I imagine he'll bring on 2 units of Flayers with the Ghoul Kings, and then I don't know, maybe a Vargolf or more Flayers or 20 Ghouls with the Archregent.
Jono's a Canberra local, bit of a favourite amongst people in the Jolt scene, I believe. He's very, very easy going on the table and loves to have a laugh, I believe. So
played Jono a number of times. He's top bloke. He's like a surfer kid.
I think if Jono gets the realm, he's not definite a win, but it certainly helps him. The fact that the Terrorgeist will be -2 to charge from terrain, and it's probably something he'd want. The fact that I believe he can't stop the chalice, is that right? He doesn't have any dispels.
Yeah, I think that's right. He's got no unbinds.
Probably really, really hurts him.
Yeah. Although if he can get the Warp Lightning Vortex off, that's going to really hurt those Terrorgeists' speed.
True.
As well.
Yeah.
He can really slow them down, and then all that shooting, like the Feck's big problem is always that it's not very resilient, and he's not got like a big block of horrors or flares or something, and then Vargolf's to like bring them back, so he can't absorb shooting other than those 40 ghouls. He's bought the extra. He's got the command point obviously up his sleeve. Jason has, because he's got the battalion. So if he tries to alpha off those 40 ghouls, he can save them. He can save them from battle shock.
It'd be interesting to see what Triumph Jono gets as well. Reroll hits could be important, I think.
Yeah, because he's not got the Navigator with the flare pistol, has he? So but he has got those bomblets. So if he just picks a bit, like he wins the drops, I'm pretty sure. The KO list is lower drops. I think I'd have to double check that actually. The Feck might be lower actually with the King's Ghouls.
1, 2, 3, 4 drops for the Flesh-Eater Courts.
Yeah, I think so.
4.
So the horrors, all the ghouls, and the courtier, is that right?
I believe so. Yeah, and then the three big heroes.
So actually, I think the KO. I'm not sure off the top of my head, to be honest, who wins the drops. But yeah, it will be interesting anyway, because if KO do go first, that's always the problem with them, is if they do go first to try and hit the alpha, and then they get doubled back, it's always, you're always on for a game. Either way, so Feck might not necessarily find it the worst if they do get hit first, but there is a lot of shooting. That Ironclad and those 15 Thunderers dropping down, and all the riggers as well. They're so fast, they'll be able to get in range for their shooting. But yeah, if he doesn't deal with those Terrorgeist, though, the Terrorgeist can definitely tear through a lot of that. So it'd be interesting. My money would be on the KO in this matchup, just because KO is a dedicated shooting army that teleports around the place, and Feck don't like shooting. And essentially the KO can ignore those ghouls because they're too slow to deal with them. Once the Terrorgeists are gone, I think the KO have got this match easily. But yeah, we'll see.
Sweet. Okay. Moving on, we've got Chris Welfare with
that's a great list. Whose list is that?
Bone Reapers, the Staliarch Lords from Shimon, and we've got Jake Gunning from Iron Jaws. Well, with Iron Jaws from Haish. So, Chris, what does your list do? Tell us all your secrets so Jake can be well prepared for your battle.
It doesn't do anything. It's just, there's nothing. There's no secret source at all.
What an absolute load of shit.
Hashtag shit list.
What do you guys think before I reveal all my secrets?
I love the fact that you've got Arkan in Shimon, to be honest. I think that's awesome. That you can give your Mortek Guard +1 save. You can give him +1 save. I mean, obviously, you got to win the realm. The 2 Mortek Crawlers are just going to be heinous. I think
they're heinous because they anus.
Yeah, pretty much. The most interesting pick is Ark Kavalos Xantos in your list, I think.
The reason for that is Staliarch Lords is the only one that you can get around the prescribed artifact, because it's the first non-named liege has to take the artifact. So by taking Xantos, he is named, and therefore it frees up my artifact choice without having to take a battalion. So then I can put the Gothazar Cartouche on the Soul Mason, and that gives +1 to wound in a 9-inch bubble. And the wounding on 4s is what really hurts Mortek and OBR. So getting that bubble and getting a +1 to wound bubble is massive, and without having to spend the points on a battalion. So that is why Xantos is in there. And he's also quite good in a fight. I played some lists. I played against Gammy's Doors, and I just made a charge, and in one turn he killed 10 Witch Elves and 5 Harpies just on his own. Just killed them all. And I was like, okay. Because he comes built in with the rerolls to wound, depending against whether you're against order or destruction or chaos. And he can obviously give himself an extra attack, and he's damage 3 on the charge with his lance. So he's actually pretty good, and he's standalone and he's fast, so he can also go up with Arcan and give him extra attacks. And Arcan with an extra attack again is actually not bad in a fight, because Razarak, his mount, has got 6 attacks at Rend 2 damage 2, so 7 attacks Rend 2 damage 2. The Shrieker's in the list for the +1 to hit as a cheap way around not having Catacross, and Arcan's the reliable caster to try and get it off, and put that down, and it's a big anything within 12 of it you're +1 to hit against, and it's shooting and combat. So it makes Arcan more reliable, because both of his attacks with Arcan as well are like 3s and 2s with Rend and D3 damage. So if Xantos gives him an extra attack, he is surprisingly fighty. The Soul Mason's obviously amazing for just dishing out reroll 1s to hit. So generally the army should be on 2s to hit, rerolling 1s for a lot of the important stuff, and then +1 to wound if it gets charged, which Iron Jaws, I'm thinking they're going to charge me. So it's a combat army, which is good at least. I am worried about the overall power of Iron Jaws, though, because they will easily just a Maw Crusher will just blow through 20 Mortec guard. Like it doesn't matter.
They can fight in the hero phase too, right? With the...
if he's in combat in the hero phase, which hopefully won't be. But yeah, he's fast as well. Those 4 units of pigs, and the fact that they're 5 wins each is going to cause me some issues with my crawlers, because it's still, I've got to get 3 shots through just to kill a unit against a 4-up save, so I need to get 6 through. So I mean, I can do 8 shots a turn with 2s, hopefully reroll 1s, 3s, maybe get 6, but I'm having to spend discipline. So I think if everything goes well and things are average, I should be able to shoot off 1 unit of pigs a turn, which isn't amazing, and I've still got to deal with those Maw Crushers. And if one of those Maw Crushers hits 20 Mortec, it's gonna obliterate them. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I've got some tricks. The list is a lot faster than people realize. Mortec are definitely the thing you want to invest in. I think if you take Staliarch Lords, not the horses are already fast enough. Most of the time you're actually slowing yourself down because you don't need to go as fast as you can with them. But the Mortec become incredibly fast with the all you have to do is roll a decent run roll and then get a good charge, and you can go 23, 24 inches, and you just look at them as a movement 4 unit. But being able to go from objective to objective with them is really good. And if all the buffs go off, then you can get a lot as well. Like those 20 Mortec can put out everything going well, 60 attacks, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, exploding on 5s, and then winning on 3s. So they should be pretty decent. But we'll see. I'm not sure. It'll depend how much damage the Maw Crushers do, I think, in that first turn. But we'll see.
If you went through all the lists earlier in the week, would this be one you thought, I prefer not to play against?
No, it's a combat army, and I've got crawlers.
Yeah.
So no, this is one I'm happy enough to play. I think it's going to be very CP hungry as well to get across the table, because that's the thing. Iron Jaws are a bit of a one trick. Like they're going to run at you because he's got no shooting, and I've got shooting, so he kind of has to.
So if there's a piece of commanding in your deployment zone, and the mortal realm up for grabs, what are you picking?
His general is a Maw Crusher, so I'd be happy enough to let him sit on it. I'd take the realm.
Fair enough.
I'd take the realm because I think he's going to want to fly both those Maw Crushers at me turn 1. Hope he kills something with the first one so that he can then activate the second one. But he's going to use all his. He's got 1 CP, so he'll have 2, and he's got the Iron Fist, so he's going to be able to send both those Maw Crushers and 1 unit of pigs double moving. So, and he's also got a teleport. So I'm expecting potentially 4 units charging me turn 1, but because he outdrops me as well. So but I'll get a triumph, which will be good. If I get reroll wounds, or I don't really need saves, but if I get reroll wounds, that's very good. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
So
what is the chat?
Jake himself actually says, "My money is on Chris." It's a good way to back yourself.
Who's your betting agent? I can throw the thing and then I can take the bet, and then I'll take a dive in the first.
Ashley says that the War Chanter won't last long. And Joel Graham says, if there was a second Chanter instead of the Shaman, I'd give the Iron Jaws a chance. That's about it, really. Ash says, "Yep, enough. The Iron Jaws don't need teleports." So yeah. Anyway, that's
fair enough.
I don't think it really matters too much about the War Chanter. He's going to use him first, and then everything has run away from him. That matters anyway. Unless you had 3, and then you're trying to buff like both Maw Crushers and everything, but you just run out of points. I think the War Chanter is more just a first turn have some more damage, unless he holds something back, I think that'll be the interesting thing, is if he just sends like one more crusher and some pigs and then holds the second one back. So that would be interesting if he did that. It's easier for me to deal with one, but at the same time, harder to screen off whilst dealing with one.
Yeah.
Against the second one. So we'll see.
Cool. Moving on to the next round, the next matching. We've got Stephen Binek with Ogre Tribes from the Boulder Herd Tribe from Gur, and Ben Smith with Ogre Tribes from the Boulderhead Tribe. Also, no realm selected for that one. So, what do we got? Frostlord, Huskard, Frostlord, Stonehorde. All the Thunder Tusks. Another
so
Stonehorn.
there are 11 frozen cows just on this page right now.
That is a fucking shit ton of mortal wounds coming out on a 2-up.
Yeah, those Thunder Tusks are great, but
that is. I reckon there's this I reckon this is
hard.
Increasingly becoming one of my favorite picks for this tournament. Actually, Stephen Benek, you are a legend. I haven't met you, but I guess we'll all get to meet you this weekend. So I love this list.
He's one of the measured guys. He is a legend. You'll love him. He's here to have fun. I think it was a bit of a I want to run this list, and then someone said, "Oh, don't do that. That's fucking stupid." And he's gone, "Rightio, I'll prove you wrong." So
yeah, do
it. Pete Atkinson, previous list we talked about before, has got a blog. He's sort of got the who's who of AOS around the world to give us power picks and cool lists, and Steven's definitely up there with one of the cool lists. A lot of people, or a couple of people, have picked his list to be one of the cool lists in the event, and I can guarantee you're going to have fun.
Yeah,
with Steven if you happen to play him.
Yeah, peek behind the curtain. This list, or a slight variant on it, if you drop the Frostlord on Thunder Tusk and take 3 Huskards instead, so 4 Battle Line Thunder Tusks and 3 Huskards, I was buying everything for that list, and I've run it on TTS, and I'm doing that list. It's been happening behind the scenes for a few months, because it's secretly great as well as being fun. The mortal wounds from all the Blood Vultures is insane. I played Matty Tyrrell actually on TTS with his Nighthaunt, and turn 1, I just sent 7 Blood Vultures at Olinda, all 2-ups. He didn't pass a single 6 for armor saves, and I just took her off from 30 inches. And then you've still then got 7 snowballs, and it's like against Nighthaunt or anything that's got units of 10s, because each one counts as 10 models. And even if they're individual models, you still on average should be doing 2 mortal wounds per Thunder Tusk. So you've then got like another 14 mortal wounds at range. And that's only against single models. Against units of 10, you're doing an average of 4. But if you need to focus like the snowballs on other units, then you can, and then just use a Blood Vulture and pick off 1 model from all their units of 10, and then all you have to do is move in range of an objective and you outscore them. So and then you've got 7 monsters to charge with as well. So whatever you roll on all those charges, you're doing mortal wounds on 4-ups as well. And then they're all -1 to hit in combat built in. They can heal with the Maw Pot. The Huskards can heal with their prayers, and it's guaranteed to go off because of how many Thunder Tusks are around. So if you've got 3 Huskards, it's 3 guaranteed D3 heals plus the Maw Pot. So don't underestimate that list. It's actually very good. And it's fun, and there's secret filth there. The Thunder Tusks are at a very good price point now, but Stonehorns are an issue for them.
And there happens to be 3 Stonehorns across the
4
table.
Stonehorns.
4 Stonehorns. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, there's one in the battle line.
Yeah, there's a battle line.
There it is. Yep.
So the issue is once they're locked in combat, obviously they're going to have to shoot 1, and they do not have the output or the survivability that the Stonehorns have.
And MB is just saying that the Gargan hackers could be an Achilles. So what do the Gargan hackers do? I'm guessing they do something more against monsters or
give him
behemoths.
damage 3. No, they're just higher damage instead of taking the Iron Fists.
The brand, yeah.
To give mortal wounds on
Right,
6s to save. But I don't think he's going to need to make many save rolls, to be honest, because he's just going to get hit with snowballs, and you don't get saved against a snowball. So.
All right. Well, I'll be watching with interest. That's going to be very cool to see. All right. Just to see him on the table is
either one of those armies could win. So it's going to be
the fact that Ben gets first turn or the choice of first turn because he's a lower drop.
Yeah,
maybe will be the advantage, because if he gets those stone horns on a charge, then you take off a thunder tusk or 2 thunder tusks after combat, then you've just negated all that mortal wound output we just spoke about.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, moving on. But Dalton Copeland with the big wah from Shimon, and Jason Wood, Slaves of Darkness, Despoilers from Shaish. Here we go.
Dalton's, I think, run something similar, or definitely played a lot of Big Wah previously to COVID lockdown. The fact that you can get that rogue idol flying across the board buffed up is not nice. And then you've got a bit of shooting with your arrow boys, and then your heroes and your full units are just ticking over summoning points for your Big Wah. So, or the buffs that come with Big Wah. It's quite a solid list.
Yeah, I think is that basically what he took, or very similar to what he took to CanCon?
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it would have been very close, I believe.
But yeah, he's got a lot of threats, right? He's got
Yeah.
six pigs with War Chanter that can be buffed. He's got the Rogue Idol. He's got a lot of bodies in those Savage Orcs. I worry about maybe if something hit him and battle shocks him, because he's got no CP in the bank. I don't know who outdrops who though. I think the Big Wah's lower drops, right?
There, it's a 7 drop. Is it 8 drop? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and
4, 5. Yes.
Dalton outdrops, so he'll get the choice. But yeah, a lot of people obviously don't like to have the option of getting doubled, so giving away first is quite common. But if he does and he gets hit, then he could lose. I guess he doesn't care if he just loses 30 Savage Orcs, though.
I don't know if you guys listened to the Measured Gaming list review, but I know Pat was a big fan of Jason's list with those knights being buffed up to the wazoo. Doing some massive output. So that's a plus, I think. And they got plenty of movement. He's got the extra CP to save him if he was happen to cop some damage early.
Yeah.
The Blood Secretor.
He's got 4-up armor saves on everything.
Yeah.
Like the 2 units of 15 warriors have got 4-up rerollable armor saves, which is great. Those knights have got a lot of output with the Secretor for the extra attacks. They can get the bonuses to hit and charge from the Chaos Lord on Karkadrak. They can get reroll saves as well from the Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and then the Chaos War Shrine can give them reroll hits and wounds. So those knights can reroll hits, wounds, saves, extra attack, plus to hit, plus to charge,
and the Triumph on top.
If he gets that, and I don't know if he needs a Triumph.
No, probably not, but he's got it.
And also that Demon Prince is going to be very good against shutting down charges from the pigs and the Rogue Idol, because it's the Khorne Demon Prince. So anything that starts within 18 inches of it is half charge.
Yeah.
Which is actually super powerful, because all he has to do is be in a position where he's more than 6 inches away and he can't be charged. So it's really good. but Dalton, I know, is a very good player, and he knows this list, and it's got a lot of threats and speed. So this is one that will be really interesting and could go either way.
Yeah, if I was rich enough and was streaming the event, this would be the game I'd be showing, I believe. Like, I think this is a cracking game to watch.
Yeah, and they've both got a lot of leaders as well.
Yeah.
Like 5 and 5, so extra points all round.
Dalton's actually in the chat. Welcome, Dalton. And he said, yes, his list is a little different to what he brought to CanCon. So,
but obviously fundamentally similar. So he's going to be practiced with it and know what he's doing. Yeah. I don't know Jason personally, like in terms of his experience, like how long he's been playing, etc. But it's a good list. Even just the fact that the other unit, the kind of spare unit, is 5 knights, gives them some mobility and speed, and those 5 knights are still more than enough output to deal with most units that will just try and hold an objective. And that demon prince is decent as well. Like, and so is the Karkadrak. Like, he's got good fast threats. So yeah, it honestly, it could go either way. I think I'll put my money on Dalton, but it wouldn't surprise me to see the Slaves of Darkness win it either.
Cool. All right, moving on. We've got Anthony Magro with the Sons of Behemat from the Taker tribe from Shimon, and John Burns with the Cities of Sigmar Greywater Fastness from Giran. So here we go. First Gargant's list. This is actually one of my favorite lists, purely because it's all Gargants. Probably similar vibes I was getting with the all Thunder Tusk list, with the exception of one. But yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting matchup.
I hate to break it, but
because Anthony's a big fan of the Cities of Sigmar as well, as we all know. So gets to face off against his old kin with his new family.
Yeah, those giants aren't going to be on the table very long, I'm afraid to say.
Just shut off, do you reckon? Just get shut off, do you reckon?
He's got no unbinds, and he's facing a pretty
30 Iron Drakes.
Well put together cities list. Yeah. 30 Iron Drakes and a bridge with a
Phoenix Guard.
With a sorceress and some dread spears to stab for the +2. So yeah, I think Magro is going to get all his giants shot off, and John Burns is going to get a comfortable win, if I'm honest.
Ouch.
Not blunt much there, mate. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that's pretty rock, paper, scissors as far as I see it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because he's got double screens of the Iron Breakers and the Phoenix Guard as well, and yeah, he's got a Venator in there as well for shooting, just doing some extra damage against a Gargant if he needs to. But it's just really well put together. He's got gyrocopters and life takers to speed off and go steal objectives back. This one is, to be honest, even if bridge doesn't work turn 1, as long as it works in one of the first 2 turns, he's got enough screens to survive, and then he just teleports and shoots the hell out of it. Like, those Iron Drakes will easily drop a giant, if not nearly both of the megas in 1 turn, because he's got the torpedoes on the champ. He's got the torpedo on the champion, which will do a decent amount of damage, and then the other 58 odd shots into the other at Ren 2. Sorry, Magro.
Ash says your anti-Gargant agenda is disappointing.
Can I just say, I let the Giants come in for the fact that there was 2 people who really wanted to play them, and I made a few house rules because the FAQ wasn't out yet, and they were both happy to play under that. And then the other advisor was, if your FAQ dropped before the event, they'd have to play their list with that FAQ and not be able to change it. And they were both happy with that. So the FAQ is in play, and I think everyone should be happy. And it would be good to see them on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great to see them. And there's what, 3 giant lists or something coming, which is pretty cool.
2.
2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually invited people to come and just spectate at the event, just because there's going to be some gargants on the table. So there you go. Okie dokie. Let's move to the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Oh, that's me. I've got Nighthaunt from Gur, and playing Sean Hay from he's a Canberra local. Got these Stormcast Eternals, Anvils of the Helden Hammer from Haish. So I've played Sean a little while ago now, but it's been a while. But I played him last year, and he had a very similar list. I think this is kind of like a Stormcast list. 2018's called Wants Their Stormcast list back, kind of vibe. But no, it's a beautifully painted army, and he's got a beautiful display board. I think he'd be definitely up there for one of the favorite army picks. A lot of shooting. Last time I played him I had a different army. I was playing Legion's list. We had a very close game. It was a lot of fun, and I anticipate it's going to be a good catch up, and we're going to have some fun on the weekend. So I'm looking forward to it. What do you guys think?
Well, first off, I like that Sean hasn't just gone for the one drop.
Yeah,
triple
I agree.
Our shoot cast list, because he has everything to do it, and it's ridiculously powerful. So I like that he's gone. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and do my own list, and he's gone for the more traditional keep your block of 9 long strikes in anvils, and he's got the prime as well, and then just loads of units of ether wings, and then he's chucked in 6 Gryph-hounds. Like, what the hell? Unless he's getting them ready for a Stormkeep army that's coming up at some point. But it's cool. I think this will be interesting to see, actually. Like,
it's cool to see Neve in a list too. Something you don't see very often. But the fact that James is coming or can put units in the ground, and I know that Sean can put stuff in the sky, but someone's going to have to bring their army out first, and it just depends. If James comes out of the ground and makes 9-inch or 10-inch charges, I think Sean could be in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. Is Sean's got nothing else in his list that really does anything. Like, he's got the prime, so he does have the second threat of obviously the prime will be up in the sky, but at the same time, James and Nighthaunt, so he's just ignoring all that rend, and the prime doesn't have that many attacks. So if James just rolls 4-ups, he's like, don't care, mate. I'm a spirit host. And he's obviously got next to hit as well with that execution horde and the maul and stuff, which is going to hurt. And if basically James gets anything into those long strikes to tie him up, yes, they can teleport around, I guess, but only with the. He has got the double kind of teleport option with the Aquilor and the Veritant's Prayer. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how this goes, actually. But yeah, you can both keep stuff off. And I think, if you get some big charges and just tie stuff down, because those ether wings, unless those raptors are on the table, those ether wings aren't going to be able to block charges. They're not going to be able to counter move either. So they might just end up being units that just get charged and die.
Which is their point.
It's only you're ignoring the rend 2 as well on the long strikes. So it's only really the 6s doing mortals that you really care about. Otherwise, you're halving immediately the output, which is going to hurt Sean. So yeah, it'll be interesting. You could get this, James. You could win this.
Wow, I might win a game.
And you've been playing a lot with the army as well, so I know you.
Yeah, I don't want to get too excited or too cocky, but Mike came over to my place a long weekend a couple months ago, and this list is the one that I somehow managed to pull a victory out against his 50 Grimghast Reaper list. So there you go. There is hope for me yet.
Yeah, and Ash has pointed out it's a classic Soul Wars matchup. It is.
Yeah,
you've got the Nighthaunt and the Anvils. It's good.
Execution Horde, I like. It's just, for me, it's a cheap battalion that lets me take Spirit Host and Lord Executioner, because I like the Lord Executioner model. And Hex Wraiths, I know not everyone rates them. Matthew Tyrrell. But they are fantastic.
They are fantastic.
I love Hex Wraiths. I actually think Black Knights suck, and Hex Wraiths rule. So yeah,
And
like
I'm assuming you've gone for Gur just for your Mongol, for the commander.
Yeah, it goes for the Mongol and the wild form spell, which is +2 to run and charge.
Yeah.
So
actually, yeah.
So it's a really good one for
say,
me. Yeah.
The fact that you've got 2 CP before the start of the game is massive as well. In your list, I like it.
Yeah, it's good, and I've been playing around with some of the other lists, which I would have been trying to run an Emerald Host for this event if I was able to get more units painted in time, but I knew I wasn't. I didn't want to put undue pressure, but yeah. So that's Pen of the Fell Winds, great, +3 movement to all Nighthaunt units within 12. I love the Soul Cage spell. Makes that big beastie fight last. Just give me a chance to kill it off. Shade Mist, there's that -1 to wound to get on a unit. Lady Alinda's spell.
So good.
That is actually going to be really good as well, because the long strikes are 2s and 3s. So if you make them 2s and 4s against something, and then so you're gonna half their output immediately, and then you're gonna half their output again anyway with your save rolls. So, and he's only got 9 shots. So
the fact that you can put Shade Mist with the Mongol, so you neg 1 to hit, neg 1 to wound, is such a brutal combo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If the Mongol ties up those long strikes, I think it's game over.
When you couple that with Lady Alinda's Grief Stricken spell, which is another -1 to hit and gives me +1 to hit against that unit that I cast it on. Light Shard of the Harvest Moon artifact for the Lantern, Infernal Lantern. That's just a once per game reroll to hit. Everything Holy Then 12 gets the reroll hits for that combat phase. Lord of Executioner and a unit of 3 Spirit Host in for a bit of a assassin role, I guess you could say. But the thing I love about this is the Dreadblade Harrow with his start of the movement phase translocation or teleport, and I can then pop a CP to bring a unit, any other unit on the board to him. So that I just find it really great for like sort of late game maneuvers when I need to sort of get that objective that's unguarded on the other side of the board or something like that. It's I found the list, and playing Nighthaunt in general, just really heaps of fun, really easy to, well, not easy, but just really great for objective play. If you just play the objectives with Nighthaunt, I found I've had a lot of success recently. Love the Mimon Banshees. They are fantastic. Even with 1 attack, they're always kicking out a bit of damage. But yeah, I think they're my favorite unit at the moment. I'm going to up them to 12, and I'm probably going to have taking more down the track. But I just think the bee's knees.
They can dispel and eat endless spells as well. Was that right? Like
yeah. So they dispel it in the spell, get +1 attack, take D3 mortal wounds, which you can just heal back, and then unbinding within 18. So it's the old wizard.
They're very underrated.
Oh, they're incredible. They are, obviously 1 wound each, 4s to hit, 3s to wound, but it's -2 rend with D3 damage. So you can easily get, with a Spirit Torment, reroll 1s to hit, +1 to wound from the Guardian of Souls if you've got them in range. And, if I'm going all out with the Light Shard of Harvest Moon, it's just rerolls to hit. So, there's lots of, it's a good toolkit army. It's very sexy. It's not as sexy as the Mayor's Shrieker Host list that everyone's frothing over. But yeah,
it's a good threat though. For 140 points, all you have to do is get a good hit roll, and even if they've only got the 1 attack each, suddenly you're like, oh crap, these are all Rend 2 D3 damage, and they've got the Unbind at +2 if you do face magic. Like, yeah, for their points, they're very good in any size. You can either just spend 70 points and have the units of 4 that still get +1 to Unbind anyway, or the 8, or you can go for the 210 and have a full 12 and get +3 and have more damage. So they just work in any unit size. I think they're good.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's just, I've got 8 because that's all I've got in models wise, but there'll be definitely more. But Lady Alinda is fantastic as well. It's been said that she's not not a pick for Nighthorn, but she's for a 200 point 2-cast hero, mortal wound output, like lifting the veil. She heals units around her. Her spell's incredible. She's got good movement. You just got to protect her and all that sort of stuff. But she'll probably get shot to shit in this tournament. But I'll do my best with her, keep her safe. Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah. All right, Sean. Looking forward to seeing you, mate. We'll catch up on Saturday. Here we go. Next, we've got Corey Ford with the Sons of Behemoth, the Breaker Tribe from Shimon. Jeff Campbell, another Canberra local, with Seraphon, with Coatl's Claw from Giran. So, lay it on me, fellas. What do we got here?
So, Coatl's Claw reduces all damage by 1. Sorry, Gargants. That's a big blow immediately, because all those man crushers that would be like damage 2 or whatever, they're going down to damage 1, which is pretty underwhelming for a Gargant. And then, it's the Coatl's Claw list is interesting because he's obviously got no summoning, so he's not going to be bringing on extra bodies, and he hasn't taken Croak. He's taken a normal Slan, which seems very interesting to do that. I could see the don't take Croak and just don't take a Slan because you've not gone for the summoning anyway. But it's interesting that he's put in the Slan.
Jeff, like James said, Jeff's a Canberra local. He likes to think a little bit outside the box. I've only been able to play him once, but he definitely doesn't like playing cookie cutter, but sort of likes to play, powerful lists. So I guess he's just put his own spin on it. The fact that he's got 3 Aether Wings as allies with Geminids isn't bad either. Just to give him, just that moving flying unit, and the fact that Corey's list is named, given these units names that give me a wrap, get bonus points as well.
But yeah, I think my money's on the Seraphon for this, but it'd be interesting. I mean, the Gatebreaker does like hitting big units, right? It can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
It'll still be rend 3, damage 2 with 10 attacks potentially. It's still potentially a lot of damage into the Saurus Warriors or whatever. But the Pterodons can put out a surprising amount of mortal wounds from that chief as well. There is a bit of shooting. I think the Gatebreaker's got a damage 4. He's got 2 Gatebreakers as well. They're both Gatebreakers, so they've both got damage 4 attacks, right? So he can potentially just shoot off the Pterodon Chief or something like that straight out. But he's obviously got no unbinds, and the Slan, at least just being able to put Geminids is going to hurt. Even just the single Salamanders will still do a lot. Like this, even just one Salamander is still 4 shooting attacks and then 4 bites because of Coatl's Claw. So like 8 attacks, 3s and 3s at Rend 2, D3 damage, and doing mortals on 6s to hit. Like, yeah, just 2 Salamanders could do a lot. They can easily kill off those man crushers on their own. The Giants can do a lot. They're capable of doing a lot, but then they just suffer the fact that they just can't be everywhere. And he's obviously not got any game in terms of kicking the objectives around with a Kraken Eater or anything like that. So he's going to be playing more of a straight fight where the objectives are. And I just think
Corey's an old Khorne player with Bloodthirsters, so I think this is very much up his alley. Just push forward and charge. I'm just surprised he took Shimon, where if that realm comes up, he's neg 2 to charge from terrain, and you got those big bases. I think he was probably better off going Shy-ish, where you get an unbind at least with your heroes. That's just what I think.
I just want to say, Corey, I love your list, mate. Not a more crusher. Still not a more crusher. Not Gore Grunters. Still not Gore Grunters. Tio is the best and bloke around.
Yeah, so
Some of the best names. That's awesome.
He sent me obviously a Maw Crusher Iron Jaws list due to the FAQ not dropping, and it was not a giant, no, not a gargant, not a gargant. FU dub, rah, like it was a big blow up. So then when I said bring your giants, it's celebrating time.
Cool. Any more on that, guys?
Nah.
No. Moving along, we've got Joel Graham with his Flesh Eater Courts Gristle Gore from Gur, and Craig Anderson, Slave to Darkness, host of the Ever Chosen from Akshi. Here we go. I've played Craig before with this list. Archaon with his Varanguards, 3/3 Varanguards. The Iron Golems I don't think were in that last list, if I do recall, but in any case, it's a beast of the list. Don't let those Varanguards get the charge on you, because I learnt the hard way, and Nagash got taken off the table. But anyway, that was my experience against that list. But that's more due to Craig's great positioning of charges and my failure to protect Nagash. So, but there you go. There you have it. So we've got we've got an Arc Regent, Terrorgeist, Cordia, King's Ghouls again. So just a sort of a
This list is very similar to the
version
previous
of the
one we
last
saw.
one.
Yeah, but it's in Gristle Gore instead of
It's got
Feast
extra
Day.
CP as well.
He's got the CP instead of pushing the ghouls to a 40.
And it's Gristle Gore rather than Feast Day.
Yeah.
So what's the Gristle Gore do?
So 6s to hit, explode into 2 hits, but Archaon makes you reroll 6s to hit.
Gosh. Is that from the Gruesome Bite mount trait?
The Gruesome Bite mount trait lets him reroll hits, failed
So
hits.
he'd just be re-rolling everything, really.
Shit.
So basically, he'll keep his 4s and his 5s, and then he'll re-roll his 1s, 2s, 3s, and 6s.
He can re-roll those 4s and 5s, though, right? Like just go fishing for 6. No? Okay.
No, Gruesome Bite is re-roll failed hits.
Right.
That's going to be a bit techie.
Yeah, I mean, those Vanguard will go through ghouls like butter as well. So, yeah, Joel's obviously a very good player. And I think Craig's more of a kind of narrative player. He's got the Iron Golems and the 6 Furies and stuff in there. But at the same time, Vanguard and Archaon do hit pretty hard. And, yeah, Archaon innately just making him re-roll 6s to hit is going to shut down some of the damage from coming at him from Gristle Gore. And obviously Archaon's got the auto removal of an endless spell. So once the chalice, if the chalice does get cast, once it's Archaon's turn, he can at least get rid of it automatically without having to roll or anything. So he knows he can take it off the table as well. So yeah, and he's got the pendulum to just fire out and do some extra mortals between turns potentially. My money's probably on Joel, but at the same time, Archaon could just stick some Terrorgeist in his sword and call it a game. So
the fact that he's only got one hero could limit some scoring ability.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Craig is definitely going to struggle to be in multiple places with resilient stuff because the Vanguard will get killed by a Terrorgeist, I think, if a Terrorgeist goes into them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm just trying to think actually, if a Ghoul King goes into Archaon's sword, does it get to double pile in, or as it dies, or is it just instantly gone?
I'm going to say instant kill.
It's definitely instant kill, but it's whether it gets to fight.
Yeah, I don't.
If you're removing it from the board, it'd get the fight, right?
I think it gets to fight, but that does seem weird. It's like as it's getting dragged into the sword, it's like
it's just going bananas. Like, yeah.
I'm not actually 100% sure off the top of my head, but
help us out, chat.
But yeah,
Joel says it does. Cool. All right, it does. It is slain, so it would get to, says Ash.
It's
So
slain.
there you go.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Next, we have Matt Kent from the Ogre Moor Tribes with the Boulderhead Moor Tribe, and no realm chosen there. Alex McKenzie with Zinch with the Pyrophane Cult from Shimon.
I think Matt's gone with the
Stonehorns. Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen this one before. I have seen it, but it didn't register till now. Holy shit! Okay, Stonehorns are plenty. Here we go. This is like this is the other cool, awesome list.
I'm pretty sure Matt's gone with the is it Gyran or Gur, the one that lets your monsters fight
that
at
would be
full
the
health.
natural. Would be the natural pick. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I probably made a few errors relaying these lists. So, and Alex is a Canberra local. Those acolytes can shoot in the hero phase, or one unit can. You can re-roll hits with the Fate Master. You can re-roll wounds for a CP from the battalion or the Change Coven. I can't remember which one. So it'd be quite. He's got to keep that 30 man alive, I think, to get through these Beast Riders or the Stonehorns.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the issue is they don't have any rend on that shooting, and the two Frost Lords have 3-up saves. So even like he can weight of dice it, but even so, like
they're Rem 1 from the cult, the Coven, I think. The acolytes. That's what the Coven gives them.
Okay.
Or the battalion, one of them. It's one and the other.
Okay.
It's Ren 1 and you get to re-roll hits, wounds.
Yeah. Okay. So then he's 50% of save. So if he's putting out 30 shots and then 30 shots again, if he can get all 60 shots, then he can drop a Stonehorn, but he's got 10 pinks, to be fair, to make a screen. So yeah, he can definitely bog down some Stonehorns for a while. But if a Stonehorn touches those acolytes, they're going to explode. And the Zangor Enlightened on disc can actually hit surprisingly hard, but they need to go last to do it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to survive going last against Stonehorns either. So, be an interesting one. Although they've got the built-in rerolls to hit anyway from the Fate Master.
Yeah, correct.
And does he has he got the +1 to wound artifact as well, or not? I don't think he does.
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, no, it'll be an interesting game.
The only thing with the Fate Master is you got to be wholly within 9 to get that re-rolls, and when you're on disc with those Enlightened, they're moving forward. So probably out of range to get it. You're keeping him with the acolytes, I think.
Yeah.
It looks like it's the Beast Riders game, to be fair. But Alex will give him a run.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. Rohit Thomas, Skaven Tide from Gur versus Terence Voller from bringing the Lumineth from Saya from Water Realm Ulgu. Skaven versus Elves.
There's a lot of bodies in that Skaven list. A lot of bodies.
20 clan rats, 20 clan rats, 40 clan rats, 40 plague monks, 20. Well, okay, yeah.
Yeah. two blocks of 40 monks. And
232 wings.
Yeah, and 2 blocks of acolytes as well. And he's got both a bell and a furnace to project immunity to battle shock.
Holy crap.
Which is pretty good.
Which negates the Cathlar.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, they won't be able to bounce. And the 40 Sentinels, I don't think will shoot off a bell and a furnace in a turn, or even 2 maybe. Although to be honest, I think that's probably the wrong choice. I think they'd have to shoot the acolytes so that they don't get shot back.
Yeah.
I just got this image in my head then of this person rocks up to Jolt on Saturday in a hooded cloak with a staff, walks through the door, and just a fucking avalanche of rats just pour into the place and just rip everyone to shreds.
Too funny.
So Rohit, you better be wearing some sort of Skaven-y outfit to go with your out.
The fact that the Realm Lords get to go first, give them the extra CP, so that the Wardens or even the Spirit of the Mountain can spend both their Aether Courts to give them +1 save for a CP. I don't know if that's going to help, but it's certainly going to keep him alive a little bit longer. But if he gets double turned, I think he's in a world of hurt.
Yeah, I think the Wardens, I mean, they're naturally a 4-up, right? So if he can sit the Wardens just as a screen potentially, and then be in Shining Company, they're going to be a -1 to hit. And then if he's got the Spirits within 12 as well, that's another -1 to hit. So immediately he can take a charge from those Plague Monks and be -2 to hit. And then, as you say, double stack the Aether Quartz and give them a 2-up save as well. But they are only 10s. But he can still make it so that, like, I don't know if it's worth it, because you probably still lose the 10, and you'd lose the 10 anyway, like if he screens. But at the same time, he does need to, like, the Spirits of the Mountain will be able to do a lot of damage though, with their damage 5 multiple attacks as well. They'll be able to clear rats in droves. And I guess if the rats, like, he's going to be taking the charge from the rats. Like, he's not going to charge the rats, I don't think. You don't want to charge into that many when they're in range of the bell. If anything,
he's gonna have to at some stage, because they'd just be sitting on 3 objectives scoring.
Yeah, that's the only thing, is the Lumineth just don't have the units to screen and push out and get objectives. And 40 Sentinels is a decent number, but it's just so many bodies to get through. I'm not sure.
They really need that spell off to be anything though. The reroll hits for missile weapons. Otherwise, they don't have the output that people think they have.
No. I do wonder if maybe because the Spirits of the Mountains have got shooting attacks that are D6 damage with good rend, if maybe he does try and take the furnaces and the bells turn 1 and just drop the auto immunity, because he's gone for Total Eclipse and Voice of the Mountain as well. So if he's got the spell to make Skaven have to spend 2 CP every time they want to spend 1, and then he's going to be -2 or -1 bravery.
He's almost better using the Cathalar's War Scroll spell than Total Eclipse. So they have to roll under their bravery to attack and move.
Yeah, true.
That's what I think.
It's not going to be in range turn 1.
No, that's it. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, sort of thing.
The Plague Monks, I know they're not as brutal anymore, like when they attack and die and stuff like that. But he's got obviously Death Frenzy on the bell. But I'm just wondering if a Spirit of the Mountain with save, if that could go in and potentially tank, because it's got a 3-up, right? So if he went in and double stacked Aether Quartz for a 1-up save, so he can essentially ignore the rend 1 attacks and be on a 2-up. If he can spend a command point and reroll 1s to save, he can potentially tank them and just not care.
Yeah.
As well.
That'd be interesting.
I think the Skaven will win. They've just got too many bodies for the Lumineth to get through, and they'll just bolt them down. And the second even the clan rats touch those Sentinels, they're going to kill them.
Yeah, the fact that Terrence is coming from Ulgu, the command ability lets him teleport within, I think, 9 or 12 of a hero. But if those heroes have to be up the board for that to be worth anything, could come into it.
Yeah, I think my money's on the Skaven for this one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we've got Tristan Smith with Nurgle, host of Chaos Blessed Sons from Ulgu, with Tyson Probin, Sylvaneth from Gur, from the Dreadwood
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Blight Kings are making me vomit.
As is right. Yeah, Nurgle.
What a horrible list. Can we just say it? What a horrible list. In terms of player experience, it's just, it's low drops. It's really fast. It's got loads of wounds. And then he's chucked Geminids in as well, like as if it wasn't bad enough. It's just like, oh, by the way, I'm just going to put Geminids in as well. That list is just horrid. So many Blight Kings. I mean, yeah, Sylvaneth aren't in a great spot at the moment. I think Nurgle's going to win that, to be honest. They're fast and they got so many bodies.
The fact that he's taken 2 units of hunters and none of them have got bows, probably missed a trick there. You could do with some shooting. But the Knight Incantor for an automatic unbind's pretty good. Stop him from casting that Geminids first turn or changing the wheel or whatever he wants to do. So it's not a bad ally.
Yeah, it's a good one. I don't think the magic's essential though for that Nurgle list. Everything it needs to do, it can guarantee.
Yeah,
like it's got the bell, so he's already at +3. He can chuck a tree down and have run and charge, and he's going to be fast enough anyway to just get onto objectives and sit there. The only thing is Durthu and Drycha that can do damage, but they're one body. They don't count for multiples. It just, you need 2 Blight Kings to survive, and doesn't, and they will, because 20 Blight Kings is 81 wounds on a 4-up save. So even if Durthu hits and wounds with everything, you kind of don't care. Like, Tristan doesn't care. He's just going to lose like 5 or 6 Blight Kings and just be like, okay. And then Durthu probably dies back, especially if Rustfang goes off and they've got Rend. So all of them can be hitting essentially Rend 2 as well, with a lot of attacks.
It's 210 wounds as well. And
it's all 4-up saves. And when any of them die, they do a mortal wound back on 2-ups, which is going to ruin, like, again, Durthu or whatever. It's going to be, he's going to be bracketed immediately. Like, even if he gets a perfect hit,
good work, Tristan,
because he's going to then die. Because he'll half himself from killing models, and then the Blight Kings that are in him are going to kill him. So, yeah, I don't see personally the Sylvaneth winning this one.
Tyson wanted to bring Lumineth, but he just couldn't get him painted in time, so he's had to use an army that he has got painted. But he's a Canberra local. I hope he has a good weekend after this game.
And Ash has pointed out, again, another classic Realm Gate Wars matchup, Nurgle versus Sylvaneth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So we got Matty Tyrrell, the mayor, with Nighthaunt from Gur, versus Martin Brooks, Ogre Tribes, the Bloody Gullet from Gur also. So, yeah. Here we go. Matt with the Shrieker host. Been doing very well with this list.
Yeah, he's playing it.
From what I've heard on the TTS. And yeah. 9 Spirit hosts, always a good time. And the Harridans all just shred. So good.
He's got Banshees there. Yeah, he's got Kurdos to steal your CP, which is quite nasty. I think the only change that he's got here is the black coaches in the list from the ones that I've been seeing him running online.
It had Mongols before, hadn't he?
Yeah, he swapped the Mongol as a straight swap out for a black coach and an extra CP. And I think this configuration is actually better. I think the black coach is very good with those 9 spirit hosts added onto the spirit torment, because it gives him 2d3 models returning. And it's fast. And if it rolls a 10, I've always been surprised at the output as well that it can do. But it's self-sustaining, like it can get run charge. It's very fast. It heals itself. It brings back spirit hosts, and it gets in the extra CP. So I think it's probably better than the Mongol, which you're only really taking to try and go kill little things, because it never seems to. The 6-inch bubble now for -1 to hit just never really affects as much as you'd hope for its points, and it inevitably never does that much damage either. And the black coach is more survivable. It's got more wounds.
I really like the Spirit Torment for the general. So Spirit Torment healing in the Battle Shock phase. Then, if you get the double next turn, you're bringing back another D3 models, and then with that Pennant of the Fell Wind. So it's just a nice healing piece there.
The only thing is he's got a bit of MSU with 10s, 10s, and 4s, where he's up against the more tribes that equal 10 themselves. So if they charge into you with the mortals and then their combat, you're sort of losing bodies already. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got Kevin and Karen as well. Don't forget Kevin and Karen.
Kevin the Clan Wraith is probably the best 60-point hero in the game. Calling it now.
He's pretty good if he rolls hot.
So with the Shadow's Edge. Okay, so for those who don't know, Clan Wraith has 3 attacks, 4s to hit, rerolls against units of 5 or more, and 3s to wound, -1 red, 2 damage. If he rolls a 6 to hit, that immediately suffers D3 mortal wounds. It stops there. With the Shadow's Edge, 6s to hit. Yeah, 2 mortal wounds, yeah. But Shadow's Edge gives you, when you roll a 6 to hit, another D3 mortal wounds on top of it. So each 6 is 2 mortal wounds plus D3. So yeah, I actually gave this little guy a run in my game last week. Charged into a Terrorgeist and did 7 mortal wounds straight off the bat. It was awesome. Just for a 60-point hero, it's just it's insane. It's so cool. So Kevin's going to do a lot of work over the weekend, I think.
Just not in this game, I don't think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. Like the Stonehorns are an issue, I think, for Nighthaunt. The amount of mortal wounds they do. Although that being said, if Matt locks them down with charges, then so they don't get their mortal wounds on the charge, and then he ignores a lot of their rend. Actually, he's okay. And do you know what? Those 10 Harridans, I think, can drop a Stonehorn because they're 3 attacks each. They can get pretty decent. They're damage 2 if you roll 6s to wound, and they've got rend built in. So
he's basically they're 3 attack. They're 3 attack flying Graveguard.
They're very cheap.
Want to hit them too because of their
because of the
bravery as well. Is that right? Or
I think it only works on stuff that's bravery 6 or less.
Okay, right.
From memory, because I think you only roll. Well, it's only likely to be stuff that affects stuff that's bravery 6 or whatever.
Yeah.
The inspiring presence ignore probably won't really. It may come.
Not in this game.
Not in this one though. But yeah.
No, I don't think ogres tend to have CP for saving stuff from running from battle shock anyway. So, but 9 spirit hosts as well can definitely tie up some Stonehorns unless they get charged, and he takes a bunch of mortal wounds.
Carp hit in half.
But Matt's, he's the current master. He's a good player. He's been running this list or a very close variant of it a lot. So he knows what he's doing. So my money's on Matt for this one, I think. But I do like Pask's list with 10 Mournfang and still like 3 Stonehorns and stuff. I do like the Blood Gullet, actually, with the Stonehorns. The healing that you get from that Splatter Cleaver on the Frost Lord across multiple Stonehorns, you should not underestimate it. And then nice drop of the red stuff as well is going to give him 6-inch pile-ins, which is really good. And then extra mortals as well from the Earl Bad. So it's decent. It is definitely a decent list.
Cool. So we got John McGrath, Beast of Chaos with the Grave Spawn from Gur. Mitch Baskey's Khorne, Slaughterhost, the Skullfiend Tribe from Shaiish.
Yeah, so I think Mitch has taken the Skullfiend, so that Bloodthirster becomes ethereal. Is that right? With the artifact? No.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Not,
am I thinking the wrong thing?
yeah, I don't think Crown
Yeah.
Cleaver is ethereal, but I could be wrong.
Right. Yeah. But it seems to be something very similar to what Pat and Evan in Bendigo would run, except for maybe the Skull Crushers.
It's +2 attacks.
There you go. I just know there was a slaughter host where you can take a bloodthirster in and get it ethereal. It was one of the mortal ones. So
yeah, I think it's one of the new ones in Wrath of the Everchosen.
Oh, right, got you.
But yeah, no, this one. So the general gets 2 blood tithe instead of 1 whenever he slays a hero, and he's got +2 attacks on that bloodthirster as well. And then he's got reroll 1s to hit for Skull Fiend mortals that are hollow within 12 of an enemy hero. So obviously the Skull Crushers and the Skull Reapers, most of the army, apart from the Bloodthirster, to be honest, will get rerolls. And then he's got no Korgorath, so the rest of it's irrelevant.
For the people at home who are looking at the list, the Karanak's in leaders because it's actually a hero, but it doesn't have the leader keyword. And when you write up lists on Army Builder or whatever it is on the website, it actually just has Karanak under leaders. So he's not over on units selected for leaders, but it's just there due to programming.
Interesting.
It's a hero, but it doesn't have a leader next to it. So God knows why GW do that, but it is what it is. And then you've got Joel, who just seems to be the king of beasts. I know he's quite popular amongst the groups in WhatsApps and Facebook and whatnot. So
Joel has got the block of 30 Bestigor and the 6 Bulgors and the Taurus. So he does have, I think when I was talking about the previous list before, he has got kind of a 2-unit threat that he can hit if he tags something with the Taurus, and then both can go before his opponent goes. And I think it gives him the mix of Rend 1 with lots of attacks on the Bestigor, and then the higher Rend, higher damage on the Bulgors. Which is a nice mix. The extra leaders might be a bit of a problem for him, though. 3 versus 6, and the Khorne ones are definitely more combat oriented than his Bray Shamans and Doomball. But
the Mind Stealer as an ally is interesting as well. Don't know if it'll pay off for him or not, but it certainly catch a few people out.
Has that got the if you roll a 6, they can't do anything? Like the old.
I believe it's something along those lines. Yeah, it stops you from doing stuff.
I think that's probably just a nice pick for super cheap. That if you come up against a Death Star, you've just always got that potential that you just shut them down for 100 points of your list.
And then you throw the Wildfire Taurus on top where you make them fight last as well. If you don't get it, like it's really good.
You've got double Slaughter Priest, Bleeding Icon, and Wrath Axe, which is good. The Bleeding Icon's actually really good. If anything runs to Battle Shock, an extra D3 models have to run. And I don't think Beastmen particularly like stuff that makes them take Battle Shock tests. They're not the most brave of things.
As long as they're not next to that terrain piece or in range of that terrain piece that ignores Battle Shock. Yeah,
that's true. He's it'll have to be quite far back though, won't it? Because it has to go in your territory, away from your opponents. And this is this first one's a really small corner box territory, right? So he probably won't get his what's it called, the totem in the best place. But Joel's obviously a very good player, and he plays the beast a lot. He's got lots of units to run around. But there's quite a few units as well in the Skullfiend tribe, to be fair. But the Blood Reavers will fall over. There's a lot of blood tithe, actually, we can't ignore. There's a lot of blood tithe between these two lists, with Joel being lots of MSU gores and ungores. And then Blood Reavers, lots of little foot heroes. So Mitch might be able to summon a lot of stuff. I don't know if he's got a lot of demons and stuff, but there could be a lot of flesh hounds and bloodletters and stuff coming to the table potentially.
Yeah, you got slaughter priests that can pull your units off objectives, and yeah, there's tricks there.
Yeah. I'll put my money on Joel for this. I don't know Mitch personally. It could go.
That's not if he's hungover from Friday night. You got to remember that. Cool.
I think that's it, guys.
That's it. It's all the matchups.
Nice. Cool. Awesome.
Good.
Well, it's been a pretty comprehensive rundown there. So yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Do you guys want to say anything else? Any shout outs before we wrap it up? Say goodnight.
I'll just shout out Joel Games. Thanks again for having us and letting us hold the event. Yeah, like you said, we took a punt that we could still run it due to COVID and stuff, and it's all worked out. So big thanks to them.
Nice, Chris. Oh, and
I want to shout out Michael for running the event. I get to play Warhammer in person. It's going to be great. I get to come down and catch up with people and play some games. It's going to be sweet.
Definitely. Yeah, shout out to everyone who's coming up from Victoria. I know you guys have been doing it really tough down there with all the extended lockdowns, and so yeah, time to break out and have some fun, roll some dice, and catch up with everybody. To all the Sydney crew coming down, local Canberra crew, and if anyone else I've missed, I apologise, but I look forward to meeting new faces, seeing old faces this weekend. And last but not least, want to shout out to the Goulburn crew who I've been getting to know some of the local guys here. We've got a fledgling Age of Sigmar scene here, so I'm really looking forward to building that up over the next few years. So look out. The Goulburn tribe will be coming for you all before too long. So I did see Chris Wilson, who was in the chat earlier. So shout out to you, mate, from the Goulburn tribe. So yeah, there we go. Represent, boys.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Hope you've enjoyed Insights, and looking forward to your round 1 matchups. And we'll catch you all on the weekend.
Yeah, see you Saturday.
Thanks for watching and listening, guys. We'll catch you soon.